Welcome to my series on the PreSonus Studiolive 16.0.2 digital mixer. Okay, let's take a look at the encoder section of the board. If you look off to the left of the fat channel, you'll see a row of buttons labeled encoders. And you have your effects A and B, and then you have your auxiliary 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 and 2 have a gray box around them, as well as 3 and 4. There's a light box that goes around the selection of buttons, and there's also a light box that goes around this row of knobs, which connects these to these visually. And the other thing you need to worry about here is, not necessarily worry about, is make sure you take note of the channel numbers underneath each of the row of LEDs. So the first thing we're going to look at here in this group is the effects. So you have effects A and B, and they all work the same way. Each knob is going to adjust your effects send from, in this case, channel 1. I can adjust how strong I want channel 1 to be sent to my effects A inside the machine. And so on. I can adjust 2 and 3 and 4. All these will go to the same effect, say it's reverb. So you're putting reverb on the drum kit, and you have different parts of the kit, and some you want more, some you want less. And so that's all there is to it. Each knob will be an effects send for effects A. Exactly the same setup for effects B. They all work the exact same way. And that's it for your effects section. So each knob is an effects send control. When you get into the auxiliary section, it gets a little bit different. If you're running all of your auxiliaries separately, then each channel knob becomes an auxiliary send control. So you can control the level of the send going on each channel, pretty much identically to the effects A and B setup. And that's exactly the same way for 2, 3, and 4. However, when things get different, and you go over here and you select your auxiliary 1, and then you link it to auxiliary 2, so now you want to run these two controls in stereo. So that's going to change the way things work a little bit. Auxiliary 1 button is going to be your send for the grouping of auxiliary 1 and 2. Auxiliary 3 is going to be your send for auxiliary 3 and 4, if you are pairing those as well. Otherwise, it would work separately as usual. Now, the aux2 in the pairing is going to control your balance. Notice it starts in the middle. And so when you turn the knob to the left, the indicator goes down, indicating that you're panning to the left, and up is panning to the right. So now, instead of only the send control, you have send and panning because you're running auxiliary channels in stereo. So that's all there is to working your encoders for your effects and your auxiliary sends.